In other news now, Settlements Minister Mmamoloko Kubayi will officially be opening the South Africa exhibition at the 12th World Urban Forum Summit in Cairo, Egypt today. This high-level forum, convened by the United Nations Human Settlements Programme, brings together delegates, including ministers from across the globe, to explore how different spheres of government can work better together to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. For more, across to SABC News reporter Lerato Fikisi, who's attending that summit in Cairo, Egypt. It's good to see you, Lerato. Talk to us. What's been going on so far?
A very good morning to you, Leanne. Like you said, the huge goal is 2030, the Sustainable Development Goal, and how to ensure that the member states achieve this goal. But before these member states get to Leanne, what's going to be important is to ensure that it starts locally. The theme this year is It All Begins at Home at the 12th Annual World Urban Forum, and it's all going to speak about how the knowledge gained from a forum that started in 2021, what gains have been made, knowledge gained, skills gained, and how that knowledge now is passed down to local economies, how rapid urbanization affects economies, policies, and also the communities, and to trickle that down to people at grassroots. But Leanne, this morning I'm joined by the Professor Sejekula Mbanga, who is the Chair of Human Settlement at Nelson Mandela University in Gqeberha. Prof, a key talking point this year at the Urban Forum is going to be the issue of rapid urbanization, how it affects communities, economies, and policies. Now, for South Africa, how important is it going to be for us to take the skills here to deal with our rapid urbanization crisis that we are facing back in our country?
Thank you very much, Lerato. Good morning to viewers as well. For South Africa, I think this global platform is very important in that it's about also knowledge sharing, but more importantly about experiences of other UN member states. We talk about the North and South, South and North cooperation. For South Africa, it is important to draw from their experiences, their lessons. We usually say in urban development and built environment context, the tools to drive change that South Africa may learn from other countries with similar contexts as us in South Africa, the issues of poverty, the issues of unemployment, and which are also driving the need and the demand for housing up, and also the issues of urbanization as well in sub-Saharan Africa, which is highly or rapidly urbanizing. I think currently it sits at over and above 55%, which is above the global average of slum and informal settlements increase within 30%. For South Africa, we'll be seeking to learn from different governments as to how, since 2021, they have gone about responding. We talk about responding to urbanization. We talk about sustainable urbanization, because urbanization is happening, is with us, will be with us, and historically people have been moving from one area to another. I think from the origins of human settlements, as we understand, people have never been sitting in at the same spaces. So we want to learn from other comparative states of how they go about in terms of adjusting the policies. For South Africa, we have just gone through a process of reviewing the white paper on housing for a white paper for human settlements, which we will be looking at implementing, I think, once it's adopted by Cabinet very soon. So this is an opportunity for us now to learn and to draw from other countries' experiences at both the national government, provincial government, and the metros who are part of the delegation.
So not to interject you, Prof, also a key issue with the issue of climate change. I think you look at KZN, also Gqeberha recently with the floods. How important will be that conversation, learning from states such as Brazil, even Egypt itself, who haven't been affected by floods, and learn from the experiences, like you say, to better implement climate change policies, not only on a paper, but also implement them to be more proactive than reactive, like we have seen in our country.
Thank you so much for that. You know, the issue for South Africa, it is very, very important. Climate change is with us. It's another mega trend globally. We have seen it, we experience is no longer on paper currently. We are seeing its effect. Heavy rainfalls, floods, as we have seen. I think we want to look on what is called resilient planning and thinking, because most importantly at this stage is for new developments and future settlements. How do we plan them to be resilient? And I must mention that this is going to also involve the participation of communities. So we want to learn also how stakeholders are mobilized, how climate adaptation strategies are financed locally, because it cannot be expected to be government's grand responsibility to respond to these global issues. So we want to learn also at that level in terms of policy, in terms of strategies at macro level, and in particular, how do we plan more resilient settlements moving forward, taking into consideration the issues of land uses, land availability, and developability of the land where we settle people as countries, and how do we harness people's knowledge within that, because also historically there are assemblies on indigenous people. South Africa, as in Africa, people have had choices of places to stay with local knowledge, and there were always reasons as to why they would opt for certain spaces, certain types, we call it housing typologies, what materials to use. We want to learn on climate change also, on what materials can be used in building houses for resilience within the communities.
Well, thank you so much. That was Professor Sijegula Mbanga, who is the Chair of Human Settlement in Gqeberha at Nelson Mandela University, just speaking about how important this conference is going to be, that beyond it being a gathering of member states, it's also going to be important about knowledge sharing, about learning from learned experiences from established countries who have gone through similar experiences, especially when you speak of climate change. We have seen it in KZN and also in Gqeberha, and you're saying that it's going to be key to learn from these countries how to build resilient urban areas that are going to be able to withstand climate change, because it's an issue that's not going to go away anytime soon. For now, let's go back to you in studio.
Important issue, certainly. Lerato Fikisi, thank you very much. Cairo, Egypt, that's where she's coming to us live from.